Hey everyone, this is Ben with BS Customs. Today we're going to be putting a 3-inch lift kit in my 2017 F150. So we'll take you and show you what we got to put in, and we'll get started. Okay, so this is what the lift consists of. Starting with the rear, we got the 2 rear blocks, we got the 2 rear shocks, we got some U-bolts and a sticker. Then we just have some various hardware. We got the coil spacers, and we have the upper control arms. Now the difference between this lift and a leveling kit is that this lift comes with upper control arms so that your ball joints aren't on such an awful angle with a 3-inch block. Okay, so we'll start by jacking it up. I'm going to jack off the cross member and then stick 2 jack stands out where the lower control arms bolt up. That'll be the furthest out for stability and the lowest point to give me as much height as possible. Alright, throw a couple jack stands under there. Drop it down. And we're ready to start the lift. Wheels and tires have to come off. Okay, so next we'll take the ABS sensor off, the brake line bracket, and pull off the clip up here. So alright. So last thing for the right side of the driver's side is taking the sway bar off. So just grab a 8mm for the top and a 18mm for the nut, and let's go to work. Okay, so we'll take off the upper ball joint, and then we'll go down to the tie rod and then the strut, and then we're basically ready to reassemble. Now we'll take the tie rod off. Whenever you're working with ball joints, it's best to use an impact so that there's no torque on the actual ball joint. So we'll throw the impact on there. And that's that. Now to unseat the ball joints, you're going to hit the casing where the ball joint is. So that would be here on the tie rod, and we'll show you the upper ball joint in a sec. As easy as that. Same thing with this one. That's all there is to it. Next step is to take the CV axle out. Now to do that, you got to take this dust cap off, and that's always a little bit tedious, especially on the newer vehicles when they're tight. there. There we go. Okay, now we just got to take that middle nut off. I'm going to use an impact to take it off. Do not use an impact to put it back on. These things take about 20 foot-pounds. Next, we'll undo the strut from the bottom. Last step of disassembling for this side is to take off the 3 bolts for your strut up top. The third one in the rear we'll get from the top of the engine bay, but as for these 2, ratchet and wrench from the side. So there's a couple different ways of getting that third one. The way I'm going to do it is with a bunch of extensions. You can use a wrench going from the side, or you can use a wrench in there, but it's a little tight, so this is going to be the easiest way. So snake that down in there. And that's all there is to that. So now we got to take the strut out. It's a lot easier if you have a friend to push down right here. Push down a little more. There we go. So the very last step before we can start reassembly is taking the stock upper control arm in. If you're doing just a leveling kit, you don't have to take this out, but our lift comes with the upper control arm, so we're going to pop this out. That's all there is to it. To make installation easier, we're going to pop these studs out so that we can line this up without having to worry about these. Oh. Now it's time for some upper control arms. Not tighten any suspension components until it is sitting level on the ground. So now you're ready for your strut. So we'll start by putting it in through the top. Push down on here. And that's that. Put your top bolts in, put your bottom ones in, tighten everything up, you're good to go. So up next we're going to put the CV axle back into the knuckle. and then we're going to lift the knuckle up, put the ball joint on, put the tie rod on. That's about it. Connect the wires back up, and this side's done. So the CV axle's in. Next, we're going to put the ball joint into the upper part of the nut. Okay, go ahead and go up. Okay. Tighten that up and you're good to go. So last step, nice and easy. Tighten that up and this side's done.
So unfortunately it was getting dark out and my alignment was the next day, so I didn't have any time to film the back. It literally took 15 minutes to do the back. All you have to do is change out that block. I undid the U-bolts with an impact, didn't have to cut them because it's a new vehicle. Dropped the axle down about an inch, slid the new box in, put the new U-bolts on and put it back up. I used the stock shocks because it was only 1 inch higher and they will definitely ride better than the rough country ones. So this is the final result. They're 33 by about 11 inches wide. They're on -12 offset rims with a 1/2 inch spacer in the front because the front was a little bit inset from the back. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. And now we can continue on with some other mods.